There are currently 17 village-managed tambu areas in Kubulau's Ngolingoli, plus 3 large marine protected areas for the entire district. Altogether, these areas protect nearly 80 square kilometers of reef, seagrass and mangroves. This protection has been effective due to the strong commitment of Kubulau's residents. A ridge-to-reef management plan has been developed that encompasses all the needs and requirements to sustainability and to help manage their resources for the future.
We've helped them do this through many workshops in which we've presented them with information, made them more aware of the environmental threats and also what they can do about it. We've presented back the data that we've collected to provide recommendations on where would be the best place to set up protected areas. And we've also trained the community members on how to actually monitor if these areas are working in terms of increasing the numbers and the size of fish.
After we work together with WCS and putting up the men as our district MPAs, WCS help us to put up more village MPAs to support the district MPAs.
On coral reefs that are heavily exploited for fisheries and fisheries resources, what you tend to see is a reduction in the amount and the size of targeted fish species, the fish that people like to eat, like grouper and snapper and emperor. And so when WCS went into Kubulau to do the initial surveys in 2005, there were very low amounts of these types of fish. But since 2005, when we've gone back repeatedly to survey, what we found is that inside the protected areas, the size and the abundance of these fish has increased.
Nano ke ragina ambu ebeso saranga kita rohane sa unga iga kita rohane tanga memilita na memika ko sa toko ba uhina vida iga.
And the advantage of it, we have noticed that when observing this tambu, we have seen a great flow of fish down our areas, and we are quite happy about it, because in the past we were using certain methods of collecting fish, and we were killing all our marine resources. But with these tambu areas, we are very fortunate that we have observed our tambu, and the benefits of it are going back to the people of Kubulau, harvesting fish from anywhere around the shores.
From every village in Kubulau, we've asked them what they've seen in terms of changes since management has been put in place. And people from every single village has said, since management has gone into place, since the protected areas were put in place, it's become easier to harvest resources, to catch fish within the area.
And that really helps. People in the community start to realize that they'll be seeing a big change in fish sizes and numbers.
The ongoing effectiveness of the marine protected areas in Kubulau is also dependent on how well the communities take care of their adjacent lands.
Kubulau is quite fortunate in that they have some very intact forest systems, so the goal now is to keep those forest systems intact. The biggest threat in terms of runoff in Kubulau area is if they decide to reopen the Mount Kasi mine. Our studies have shown that in the past, when the mine was operational in the mid to late 1990s, that there was a lot of runoff that came down to the reef, and people who were around at the time associated this runoff with massive fish kills and coral death at that time. So for the people in Kubulau, in order to protect their reef resources, it would be optimal if that mine stays closed.
Most of the time when we cross over to Sabsabu, you can see dead fish, and even most of the community, they used to go out dive. You can see a sign of the damage of coral.
In the Pacific Islands, the land and the sea are strongly connected through the passage of water from the mountains to the sea. Rivers are home to diversity of life in particularly freshwater fish, many that are native to Fiji. Almost 99% of fish found in the Fiji streams made contact with the sea at some point in their life. Many fish found on the reef use rivers as important habitat for feeding or reproduction. Destructive activities on the land, such as logging, intense agriculture, and mining, can have serious downstream consequences that affect the water quality both in the stream and out to the reefs. Just like overfishing, these destructive activities affect fishing resources. Clearing the land may also have strong consequences for humans by making areas more prone to severe floods.
Tonight, low pressure system approaching Fiji with more rain and flooding.
The communities of Kubulau have been very fortunate that there haven't been a lot of heavy industrial logging in the area. Deforestation has been associated with a lot of flooding and heavy rains. Areas like Ba, Nandi, Lambasa during the January floods this year were the hardest hit, and those are the areas in Fiji that have some of the greatest amounts of land clearing.
All of these factors, including overfishing, runoff from the land, and habitat connectivity, were considered during preparation of a ridge-to-reef management plan for Kubulau, the first of its kind for Fiji.
We are very fortunate that the WCS joined us in observing our Ngoli, and the milestone of it just a couple of days ago, we signed our management plan.
In July 2009, the chiefs of Kubulau officially endorsed their ridge-to-reef management plan. To further strengthen their protected areas, the chiefs called on Kubulau's church ministers to formally bless the MPAs.
So as far as we are concerned here in Kubulau, the poaching and illegal fishing is, came to a stop a couple of months ago, and we use our traditional Fijian system in trying to call all the people around Kubulau and the surrounding areas, telling them that please keep these Ngoli areas tambu, because Kubulau is benefiting from it.
The leaders of Kubulau and the community members themselves have expressed interest in legalizing some of the marine protected areas in Kubulau. And what they believe and what they feel is that by making these protected areas legal, there may be more recognition from the police and from government in terms of providing support for enforcement, in terms of providing support for prosecution of those who have committed offenses, and in terms of providing support to help boost the ecotourism that's been going on in Kubulau currently.
NGOs tumay ekabuna tumarora ya bulagi Kubulau. Winakabali ba muto sa sana. Muto may babuli di hema may tunga ba ay na oso-oso. Ya oso-oso ko sa babil winakabali ba bendo ekabuna. Orang umbu-umbu. Sirlo. Beato. Manong maraw kinabali ba muto odo. Muto ba katuri ya ko may may. Atau bapak tina agi, ibi ini maai, di bono ibi Kubulau, itu siang ngoncala. Omaro ahi nani maai ni ambagi omitan petahin aku iu, mutu kaata ke maya abuli, kena biwa kan iba kira NGOs, so udah komeramai tak kata Kubulau.